Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at the Poison Bunny build, aka Mega Lopunny with the Poison package. This is a deck that I'm sure all of us have been seeing doing the rounds lately, but obviously the most common variant, Dusknoir build, probably bodies us, but fingers crossed we'll avoid that one. So as per usual, in the description below there's going to be usual links to the deck list, which is also available to copy in the description below, even though my list is very similar to other people's lists because there's not a lot of variants. There's the games that were played, of course, the outro and what I think of the deck. So, of course, once again, we are taking a look at a Mega Lopunny. Very good card, as we already know. Obviously, Gale Thruster's 230 for 1 energy if we switch it into the active spot. And, of course, Spiky Hopper is also just as good, dealing with the wall breakers, like Crustle, if obviously they don't have any sort of, like luxurious cape or anything like that. And also deals with Great Tusk, which is also quite nice, and goes through the likes of Neutralization Zone, which, I'll be honest, when I did that video, I completely forgot about it. But no, generally this list has felt pretty fun to play. Obviously, we are playing the Pecharunt, as we already know. We've obviously got the Brute Bonnet as well, just for a little bit of extra. And, well, I figured since there's a lot of grass decks running around the format right now, it makes sense to keep the Moltres with the Fire Energy. And unlike Jet Energy and the like, Fire Energy is actually recoverable with Night Stretcher, which is pretty nice to have because the bunny doesn't care what it gets because it's colourless. But otherwise, it's pretty standard. Obviously, I've decided to go the Secret Box route just so we have the higher chance of the donk and stuff like that. But other than that, it's a pretty standard Poisonous Bunny list, so let's go take a look at it. And welcome to the deck list. So as I said, this is definitely a very standard list. There's not a lot of variants here. It's one of those that, like, there's a lot of variants when you think about it, but there's also not because, the tool card counts are the same, the Jet Energy is going to be the same, the Fire Energy, if you choose to keep the Moltres around, is also going to be the same. There really isn't a lot of variants when it comes to these lists, and to be honest, I can't exactly claim like this is fully my list, because, as I said, these lists are very similar, but we'll get to that. So as I said, we're playing 3 Bunearys, 2 Mega Lopunnys, 2 Squawkabilly EX, 2 Brute Bonnet, 2 Pecharunt, 1 Pecharunt EX, 1 Mew, 1 Latias, 1 Fez, 1 Bloodmoon Ursaluna. Not been listed playing an Iron Bundle, so I thought I might as well play that so we can get some extra Pech damage in to something that we actually want to damage with Pech. And of course the Moltres, which will be pretty useful given the amount of grass decks I've been running into. 4 Carmine, 2 Boss, 2 Lillies, 2 Iono, 1 Turo. 4 Nest Ball, 3 Ultra Ball, 3 Night Stretcher, 2 Pokégear just for a little bit of extra consistency, 1 Secret Box as a race spec, 4 Ancient Boost Energy Capsules, 3 Binding Mochis. We also have 4 Perilous Jungle, 4 Jet, and of course 3 Fire. Again, these lists are very, well, apart from the voice crack there, very similar. They are not really something that you think about too much. Like I said, there's not really anything I can, like, personally suggest you, like, change from this list. Like, I've tried to add a couple of things in that, not many lists are playing, like the Pokégears and stuff. But, there's not really a lot when these lists are so similar and they just have so many, consistent, like, numbers of counts and stuff. Like, obviously, the Poison versions are always going to play 2 Body, 2 Patch, but you get my point. Like, there's not really a lot I can say here that can really boost anything. But the only thing that I'd love for Mega Lopunny to do is if, like, it had an ability, like, the second attack obviously did what it did, but then also could move to the bench or it had a third attack. But obviously putting 3 attacks on a Pokemon is kind of outdated, as we've seen with, like, those old, cards and stuff. Obviously I wasn't playing when that was the thing. But, I just think the Poison version, whilst it is fun and all, I think it'd be even better if this could do the damage, move into Pech, and just do increased damage with Perilous Jungle and stuff, but hopefully we can get some dogs in this video as well. So, let's go to the games and see how we do. And welcome to the game. Let's see how, well, game 1 I should say. Let's see how we do with this Poisonous Donk deck. And remember, we want to go first. Because then we could potentially get a donk, and that's what we want. Obviously, if it's a Pokemon that can't be donked, I'm not going to put as much effort into, getting the poison damage on. But if we could do it, we'll do it. Okay, that's actually pretty broken that we got that. That is actually pretty broken, because we can Secret Box for stuff. Let's see what happens. If they start something that, can be donked, we're going to go for it 100%. And that's a Kang. Okay, that's fine. We can at least get some damage onto it. So we're going to start off with the Secret Box, getting rid of you, you, and you. Because we'll play 4 of them, we might as well. I'm not going to grab a supporter because I don't want to thin too much stuff out. So I'll go Nest Ball for the Bonnet. Put the jungle down. A-Back. Carmine. That's pretty good, actually. So we'll do that as well. We'll Mew for 1. That is really good. So now our Toxic Powder. Chains into the Bonnet. Which obviously doesn't get poisoned. And then we'll pass. That's really good. That is really good. I like to see it. Obviously, we're going to need a Jet Energy for the Lopunny, but we could potentially take this Kangaskhan out next turn. That's crazy. Obviously, if they manage to get out of the active, that's different, but we can still do it with Brute Bonnet plus Bonnet Mochi. So that's actually really good. That's a really good start. Obviously, the main reason for moving the Pech out is because the Pech can obviously be one-shot by Kang without needing to flip a coin. And if we lose the Bonnet, it's not a big deal because they'd still remain poisoned. Trolley Turbo Energized. This tells me that you're playing Tord Box. You are indeed playing Tord Box, because of course you are. Everyone and their mother seems to be playing Tord's deck. Like, I'm one of those that, like, if you're just copying a top player's deck, you're not really, like, building your own deck. I know that might sound a bit controversial, and I've mentioned it before with, like, net deckers and stuff, but, you know, where's the fun in just copying someone's deck list, you know? Oh, no, it's not. It's the Bouffalant version. Okay, this is interesting. Well, the cornerstone here doesn't matter. I'll tell you that right now. Lightning Energy? What the heck are you in here for? What is this man cooking? See, because of the Lively Stadium, I thought it was Tord's version, so apologies to my opponent there, but you know what I mean? Like, when you're running into someone who's just playing someone else's deck, you're not really trying to, like, deck build and stuff. But that's just my opinion. Oh, this is the Joltik version. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It took me a minute, because obviously I realised the Lightning Energy was there. I could always take out the Cornerstone, which is something I can do. It's just I need to find a way to retreat this, this Brute Bonnet. So I'm going to Carmine, actually. Okay, so we do get the potential to do that. So, Latias. Then again, I can Mochi here. I can take this out, I think. Can I? 270, 310, 320 in checkup. No, we're 10 short. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I can Mochi it anyway. I can Night Stretcher, grab the Bonnet back, I guess. Mochi the Pech, just so I can Mew for 1, I guess. Okay, that's pretty good. We can grab ourselves the Pecharunt. Because he's got no way to retreat this unless he pennies, so, you know. We don't need to poison, we'll just pass. Because that way now, we're in range of knocking this out with a Buneary. Well, in fact, no, we're not, because of the Bouffons. But the 6 damage poison will fix that for us. But obviously, if they find a penny here, which of course they do... Yeah, that's just unfortunate. But it does mean they're a turn behind on their attacks. If they do that. So, it's not a big deal, because they're going to be a turn behind regardless. And the only thing they'd realistically penny into is the Cornerstone. But I can just deal with a Cornerstone. I'm not scared of a Cornerstone. Because I have the Bunny. Bunny plus Mochi deals with it. So, you know, I'm not worried in the slightest about this Kangaskhan. Or the Cornerstone. This is a matchup where I'm going to need to keep that Turo, though. That's 100% a given. I'm not going to be playing Turo this game, unless I have to. I don't want to bin that Turo, because obviously Turo can reset my Lopunny. Okay, they've got the Monkey Dory. think with Mochi, though, I still knock it out. Even with the heal, so it's not a big deal. That's fine. Are you going to penny this Kangaskhan, though? Because if you do, I can still take out whatever you promote. Apart from the Kangaskhan, obviously, because that's effectively 390 HP right now. Let's see what they promote. If they promote Cornerstone, again, not bothered, because I'll just knock it out with Gale Thrust plus Poison. So, let's see what they do here, because I think they're committing too early to, like, a singular play. If they give me a Booth, I'm not too worried. And they're giving me the other Kang. Okay, sure. If we're going to do Penny all day, mate, I'm not really, like, bothered, because I can just keep chaining Gale Thrust, and I can even go for Spiky Hopper. So, you know, I'm not particularly worried. There's the Joltik, and just a pass. Okay, sure. There's another Lopunny. There's not really a lot I can do here. I could just poison this. I think I will. So what I'll do first is I'll subjugate in chains. Because that way I don't put damage counters on my board. Do that. Go into the Pech. And pass. Because if you want to waste pennies doing that, mate, I don't really care. I know I can't one-shot your dude. I don't have to. The poison will do the trick over time. I don't need to rush this. Yeah, you can Monkey Dory, move damage off. Again, not really worried about that because, you know, I still can hit an insane number if needed. I can take my time. I'm not in a rush. He needs to start setting up my other two prizes, though, for Kang knockouts. That's what he needs to do. And that's exactly what he's going to be doing. That's fine. Another penny. You're wasting them, man. They're not going to benefit you. The Joltik doesn't worry me. I can just poison and knock this out. I don't know what my opponent's planning here. He's so committed to this Jolting charge. It's actually quite concerning. Like, genuinely, it's concerning. Because then you don't get Fez draw, and I just need to take out a Kang and a Cornerstone, and I win. Like, I don't agree with this whatsoever. I genuinely don't. So let's Lilies. Get a fresh draw of 8. We don't need to reveal the stick. Well, I mean, he knows I've played the stadium, but we don't need to bounce it right now. Because what I'll do again is I'll subjugate and chains into the bonnet. Poison the Joltik. Which I know that doesn't really play around much, but I can still force him to, you know, take more damage and stuff like that. And yeah, we'll just pass, take out the Joltik with poison. But no, he's wasted 2 pennies already. Unless he plays Palpad, that feels pretty good. And we have the boss for the Cornerstone, so again, not worried in the slightest. He's put all his eggs into one basket on this Kangaskhan, and it's, you know, it's all well and good doing that, but you know, I can't really see him doing too much here because, you know, like, he can attach and maybe boss the Lopunny, but it's a coin flip. And coin flips are not always reliable. Cornerstone does not win you this matchup, so I don't know why you're committing to it. Cornerstone is just a 2-prize liability for me. I can deal with it. I'm not worried. I don't have to kill the Kang now. There's the Arven. He's probably going to grab a Bravery Charm, so that thing is essentially 440 HP. Yep, that's exactly what he's grabbing. It's a very bulky Kangaskhan. Very bulky Kangaskhan. Obviously, we can bounce the stadium. We can Night Stretcher back this Pecharunt. So I'm not particularly worried, but, you know. And Rapid Fire combo. Obviously, we know it knocks it out, but that's fine. No, genuinely, I think they're really using their resources too early. So we'll promote the bonnet. I can Night Stretcher back this anyway, so I'm not particularly worried. So first of all, I'm going to bounce that stupid stadium. Night Stretcher back that Pecharunt. So we'll do that. I could also boss the Boof or the Monk, and then again, no, Monkey can free retreat. But then again, it just makes my prize map even harder. So I think it's just correct to Toxic Powder. And then retreat into the Pech. Because that does 8 damage counters, not 6. Because now this thing is essentially 300 and I believe 30 HP. Of course he has the heal for it. Always has the heal for it. That's why they play Drunk Bro Ice Cream. Because like I said, I could always hit this with Lopunny, and then I can Turo it later. Well, I can Turo the Lopunny. I could just set up another Buneary. He's going to get the boss. But is he going to boss anything? He could boss the Pech or the Mew. But those don't really bother me right now. It's more the fact that he's committing so much to this play. Like, you know, wasting the pennies and stuff. You didn't need to penny when you pennied, is all I'll say. And there's another Kang. I could even go for that Kang. Like, I can't kill it now, but I could later. But no, I think these Kang decks are just really weird with how they play. Like, a lot of them just waste their resources way too early. And, well, we know he has the knockout, because, well, it's rapid fire combo. It does 200 base, but the game always has to apply it. Like I said, it saved the opponent a few seconds on their timer, you know, like, it's not a difficult thing to implement. But I digress. He's probably just going to go boss for game, because that's all these lists try to do anyway. Okay, so you are effectively 380 HP right now, which is, you know, we can dispose of it, but it's going to take us some time. So I'm going to bench the Buneary. I could Turo my Mew, just to give him less opportunities. But I'd want Turo to reset Lopunny, is the main thing. Because obviously I'd need to poison my Lopunny anyway, and then he only needs to flip 1 heads and he wins. That's the only issue. But I can also boss the Cornerstone, take it out, and then I can Turo this if it survives the hit. So I think, based off of my situation here, I'd boss the Stone. And then we'll free retreat into the Lopunny. Go Frost for 230. Take out the Cornerstone. Because then I can Turo this. I'm not particularly worried. It's just if he manages to get the double heads. And there's 2 of my Gear prizes. But that's what I mean. I can Turo the Lopunny if it survives. And then I can obviously go from there. Adrenaline Brain, he can move the damage off. It doesn't matter for his math. He still needs 2 regardless. In fact, no, he only need... He does still need 2. He still needs 2 heads on this. If he gets it, he gets it. But I'm hoping he doesn't. There's another Monkey. And of course he has a Dark Energy for it. Why would he not? There's another Charm, because these lists are playing like 1,000 Charms, it feels like. Oh, come on, not the Iono. God damn it. We're probably going to lose because of that Iono. That's really annoying. We do get Fez, but Fez doesn't shuffle the deck. Neither does Carmine. We're probably going to lose because of that Iono there. The only way we don't is if, like, we can, you know... And there's another Lively Stadium. How many are you playing, man? That's your second one. We just got to hope he doesn't hit double heads, but this teaches you to live. Okay, he hits 250. That's fine. But obviously, we are a Monkey Dory ping away from losing, so we need to find something to shuffle the deck. That doesn't help. I'm going to have to risk it with Carmine. And just hope we can find something. No, we just don't win from here. Because if I hit this, he just Monkey Dories and takes us out. We lose here. Honestly, like, their resource management was terrible, and the game just fed them the win. That's the most annoying part. Let's go to a game 2. Yeah, their resource management in that game was just shocking. Like, they wasted so many pennies early on before I'd even gotten a chance to, like, you know, do anything. They just used penny because they could use penny, you know, like... That's the thing, like, that is pretty much the exact 60 that LDF played on his video. You know, like, there's no... Like, I've obviously got a version of that deck as well. Like, I've modified a list of that. But, you know, like, at least I've, you know, changed counts. I've at least, you know, modified the list. You know, I've made it somewhat my own. But at the same time, you get those people who just net deck all day long. And it's, you know, it doesn't reward you, in my opinion. Like, it's not rewarding to me, is all I'll say. But we do get the Secret Box, which is pretty good. Are they going to put down another Pokemon? Because obviously they have seen Poison stuff. They have not. But we will fall short on an Impidimp. So that's just something to bear in mind. So that's a Nest Ball for Latias. So we have that. We can then Secret Box away you three. Can grab Carmine, Nest Ball, Abeck, Jungle. We can't dunk an Impidimp because it's a Dark type, so it's not affected. But we can still go for it. So we'll grab the Pech. So we can do that. Abeck, we might as well put the Fire Energy down just so we have it. And then Carmine. Nice, we get the Buneary. So then we'll free retreat. I should have probably poisoned first, then retreated to the Pech, but it's fine. If they don't retreat this Impidimp, they lose it. So that's the nice thing. Because it's a Dark type, it doesn't die to Impidimp. So, well, to the Pech. It doesn't die to the Poison, but it will next turn. There's an Arven. They need to grab Buddy POF here. They're just grabbing Buddy POF in. Are your tools prized or something, mate? I know Marty's Grimstyle doesn't play a huge amount of tools. They play Evo, they play Devo. Ooh, okay. We've got the Gengars in here. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting. Secret Box, so they have turn 1 Secret Box, just like me. Okay. Battle of the Secret Boxes. EXP share, Dark Energy, Rare Candy. We love seeing those go. Especially the Candy. I don't know why they didn't grab a tool then off that Arven. Iono Spike Murph plus thingy, but they still die to Pech anyway. There's another Poffin. Is this just Grimmsnar with Gengar? Yeah, it literally is. There's nothing else. No Frostlass, no nothing. That's good for us, though. That's fine, because, again, the Toxic Subjugation still takes you out. Like, the Perilous Jungle does nothing for me here. Grabbing a Morgrim already, that's fine. But again, you go down to Poison. And there's that. We'll take that free prize card, thank you very much. And, well, if they're just going to concede after that, sure. I guess he didn't like the fact that I was going to be 2 prizes up after that turn. See you in Game 3. And welcome to Game 3. That was a nice, easy game against the Grimmsnarl Gengar deck. Not really looked into that deck, I'll be brutally honest. I have it on Fraud Watch as what's his face? Omni Joe from the Omnipote channel would say. Yeah, that I have that deck on Fraud Watch because I don't think it's that great, personally speaking. I see the appeal, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you're trying to set up multiple stage 2s. At that point, you just play a more consistent engine, like Pidgeot, Charizard, you know, like, more consistency is the best thing. And he's made me go first. That is fine, because you're about to see a mulligan, mate. But, you know, it's just one of the things, isn't it? So they start, they're going to see the mulligan, and they're probably going to put down a second Pokemon, but let's see. Starting a Mew is excellent. I do like seeing the Mew. They could take a mulligan, and then obviously they can choose to put down another Pokemon if they wish. Bloodmoon Ursaluna. Ooh, we don't like seeing that start, that's for sure. So we'll Nest Ball. Grab, not you. I don't know why I clicked you. Grab Squawk. Jungle. Squawk. Feels kind of bad, but, well, this hand is awful. There's no polite way of putting it. This is still workable. We can still potentially get there. So we'll Nest Ball for the Bonnet, because at least I can get some poison damage in. Do that. Mochi to the Squawk. Gear. We do get the Carmine. That's pretty good. Or Carmine. Okay, that's fine. We're only doing 3 damage counters then, but I can live with that. I can then Night Stretcher back the Mega Lopunny, but I can do that later. I don't need to do it now. So now I'll just Toxic Powder. Because now Bloodmoon is in Lopunny range. Free Retreat into Latias. And yeah, I'll just pass. You take 3 poison. Easy enough. Nothing much that really needed to happen there. The bear is now in Mega Lopunny range. Obviously, we couldn't set up the the Buneary, but I'm not hugely worried. Although, judging by the fact I see Calamitous Snowy Mountain, I am a bit concerned. Because I know for a fact which deck plays that. Well, there's actually 2. There's... Well, in fact, no, Relegator doesn't really play it. Yeah, it is the deck I thought it was. Okay, that is concerning then. This is the Tim Franklin's Bloodmoon Ursaluna deck. And that is worrying, to say the least. Because we are fighting weak. And that deck can just nuke us alive. So I'll grab you back just so I have you. I'm not really worried about the 20. Trust me, I get one shot by the bloody Bloodmoon Ursaluna either way. But still, we're at least getting some good pings onto this Bloodmoon, so now it's well within range of the bunny. But obviously, the main thing we have to watch is, you know... We're worried about this, let's put it that way. We're worried about this stadium, we're worried about the Bloodmoons themselves. Crispin, are you trying to charge up a Bloodmoon? I've not taken any prizes, so you've got a long way to go before he's swinging. Unless he's going to retreat it, but then I'll just boss it. Let's see what happens. Okay, are you charging up the Bloodmoon? Or are you going to move some damage off with the Bloodmoon? Well, from the Bloodmoon. Still dies to a Mega Lopunny either way, but, you know. It's one of them things, really, I guess. I know Adrenabrain in, but I don't know what to, because I could evolve that Buneary. It dies to Bloodmoon Ursaluna anyway, the fighting type one, so his move here really doesn't matter. But still, it's quite concerning that he's playing that. My best hope is to, like, bump the stadium. It looks like he's doing that for me. So, yeah, this doesn't look good. There's Solrock. That's fine. Attaching to the Solrock. He can't get it in the active, though, so that's good. Alright. So there's another bonnet. That's fine. We'll evolve to you. We will thin a card out with Artisan, because we might as well. I can get the Petch out, because obviously Petch can do some poison damage, but then again, I think Iron Bundle will probably be better here. So then we'll free retreat into the bunny. And yeah, Gelfrost, 230, take out the Bloodmoon Ursaluna. Take 2 prize cards, we might as well. And there's double Carmine out the prizes. You'll notice I don't really tend to, like, check prizes when it comes to poison decks, because you don't really need to, like, do that, because a lot of the time the only thing you need to, like, be concerned about is if you prize both Bonnet or both Petch. And the chance of doing both of those things in the same game is probably something like 1 in a million, so you don't have to worry too much. But still, this doesn't look too bad for us. Like, we do have options here, but I'd love to Turo that Squawk. Turo the Squawk, put down the Petch, EX, and then obviously I can do the infinite switching, essentially, which is really nice. But we'll soon find out. I can always just, like, gust up stuff as well. Like, you know, Gelthrust does 60 plus poison, which would do 70. So, like, if he puts down a 70 HP basic, I can always go for it with boss's orders. There's energy retrieval, so something tells me he has the Ursaluna in the hand, which is worrying if he does. He's got 2 fighting energy in there, so he could do it. Don't know why it took him that long to pick up 2 fighting energy, though. Maybe he likes to put in his, like, look at his discard pile, I guess. But no, this is like one of the worst matchups we could have had to face. Like, genuinely, this is one of the worst. Because now all he needs is a fighting energy or a dark energy, and he just blows the Lopunny out of water. Unless he has, like, Night Stretcher or a way to recover that fighting energy there. He doesn't actually knock us out here, but he needs another energy to do so. Once he gets that energy, that's fine. But he needs an energy to do it. And if he doesn't have it, why are you slow playing? You have the advantage. What is this man doing? You have a huge advantage in this matchup. And you're slow playing. Like, come on, bro. Jeez. What is it with some players, man? They just slow play for the sake of it. You have fighting weakness against 3 prize Pokemon. Honestly, I don't get some people. I really don't. But yeah, with our main attacker now gone, this just feels kind of rough. Like, I can grab the Petch, I guess. But he could just Monkey Door and start setting up my board for other stuff, so this actually feels kind of rough. I can Gust the Monkey, but, like, I'd rather, you know, put pressure on this. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some poison damage down. Because like I said, there's not a lot I can do in this matchup. Because I'm fighting weak. Like I said, you're slow playing when you have the knockout in a fighting weak matchup where you have single prizes. Like, get a grip. That's not me being horrible. That's just me being pointing out the obvious. You know? I don't know, but this is what I mean. Like, I've always been an advocate for, like, report functions on PTCG Live. I think this is one of those cases. We need a report function. 100%. Like I said, you're literally slow playing when you have a huge advantage in this matchup. Like, bro. I mean, at least we can swing with the Ursaluna, like our Bloodmoon Ursaluna, but we need an energy to do that. We can't do it right now. And even then, we can't chain it back to back. We have to, you know, manually retreat. Like, if we can get the Petch Latias combo going, we will be fine, but obviously we need another bench space to do that. But we'd probably pop the bundle anyway, so it's not a big deal. Oh, seriously, you're still slow playing? I'm not wasting my time here. I'm going to go to game 3. This guy's slow playing like crazy. Why slow play when you have a huge advantage? I don't get it. That is just next level scumbaggery. And this is why we need a report function. Let's go to game 3. And welcome back to game 3. Sorry for getting a bit frustrated there, but I'm sorry. If you have the advantage, like by a country mile, and you choose to still waste your opponent's time, I'm sorry, but that's just hugely disrespectful to your opponent. And that's my opinion anyway. But still, I can't stop some players from doing that, I'm afraid. You know, the only way we could stop it is if we actually had a report function, because I'd have reported that player for slow playing 100%. I don't know. And the opponent's going first, so we're not going to get to do a Poison Dunk. And well, we've mulliganed, I think, all 3 games now, so that is absolutely ridiculous. It's not like we don't play any basics whatsoever. Maybe they break, I don't know, but yeah, going second. Ooh, Dunsparce, okay. Interesting, is all I'll say. Oh, it's Alakazam. Okay, they're playing a bundle as well, interestingly enough. Very interesting. So we will Ultra Ball away you and you, because we're going to grab our Squawk, because this hand is kind of dead. I mean, we can Lillies before we Squawk, but you get the idea. I'm going to attach to the bundle just in case, and then I will Lillies. Okay, that is really good. It does mean we're throwing away both Mega Lopunnies, but, well, I don't really have much of a choice. So I can grab the Petch. And yeah, I'll just Squawk and Seize. This hand is not looking great. Okay, we get the A back. That's the important thing. We can always recycle our bunnies later. It's not a big deal. So then I will Toxic Powder. Obviously not poison our Petch. And you take 8 poison damage and die in between turns. Yeah, losing a lot of resources there kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, I don't really have much choice. Like, I had to get rid of both bunnies there, both lilies. Like, are you joking? You had rare candy Alakazam? Jeez. Man's got the insane draw, just straight away. And a Dawn? That feels pretty good, actually. Them getting a Dawn there. That actually feels pretty good for them, I will say. I mean, you get Dawn, so you can get Abra, Kadabra, Alakazam, or, you know, I just sound like a magic show then, like going Abra, Kadabra, Alakazam, you know, like doing a magic trick and stuff, like making I don't know, making the oh okay, you're just gonna concede because you're with the psychic energy, sure, let's go to game 4. And welcome back to Game 4. That was very strange from the Alakazam player there. They literally, again, it's one of those cases, like, people have such huge advantages in matchups. Like, you've seen the Mega Lopunnies, but you still decide to, you know, concede and not even try. Like, you know, you have the option of doing what you think you can do. I play 3 prizes and 2 prizes. You're a single prize deck. Like, I don't get the insistent need to concede all the time. Well, at least we will actually have a pretty cool idea here. So there's a reason why I'm playing this Buneary, because we could actually use that runaround so we don't have to put Latias down. Yeah, there's something you didn't think about. I can attach a fire energy to this, and then I can run around, go into the patch, and that way I don't put poison on it. So there you go, we don't have to put Latias down. Oh, I love these sort of weird, wacky strategies. As you already know if you've been watching the channel a little bit, like, some of the donk stuff that we do, you know, like weird attacks that we do on this channel. Monkey Dory, so we're not going to be able to donk this, but we can at least put some good pressure on it. Well, that's a great start. Brute Bonnet, Pecharunt. I'll put the Moltres down just so I have it. Fire Energy, Nest Ball for my Squawk. I can't donk this, but I don't have to. Okay, we've actually whiffed there. That's fine. I can Nest Ball for Mew, but like Mew doesn't really solve anything. But for now, I could Petch into Petch, but like that doesn't really solve anything. I could go by and bundle maybe. Obviously, I can't Squawk twice before anyone suggests that. I can't, unfortunately. I would love to Squawk twice, but I can't. And obviously we can't run around, but, you know, it's an idea. You know, we could do that. I don't need to, though. Like, this starting hand is actually pretty okay. Like, we've had a pretty good start. But, yeah, that feels kind of bad whiffing the A-Beck there. Pokégear. Okay, sure. Gets the Arven. So they're probably going to play Arven for turn. Which they are. That's fine. For Trolley, Turbo Energize. Let me guess, is this a Tord ripoff? Fighting Energy, Turbo Energize, presses Trolley. I'll know by the deck, and if it is, I'm not dealing with another Tankerscan, because I cannot be bothered. Like, genuinely, I seriously can't be bothered to do another tank deck. Like, these poison decks rely on, you know, like, getting an early donk. Yep, it's Tord Box. I'm not even going to bother. You might call me lazy for that, but, like, unless I start going around their 3 prizes and stuff, I just can't be bothered to deal with that. Like, you know, I've already gone on a tangent about people net decking, and, well, you know, that's just one thing that annoys me, is that people net deck and then they have the brass to slow play in the same time as well. Like, obviously that guy wasn't slow playing, but I'm on about the Bloodmoon Ursaluna player. You know, they have such a huge advantage. They have monkeys to move damage around. They have fighting weakness onto a 3-prizer. You know, like, it's just disrespectful. Like, you know, you're in Arceus League. Like, you've obviously worked hard and played respectfully to get there. Why start being a douche now? You know, like, why start doing that now is what I don't get. I don't know, but it's just one of the things that irritate me about PTCG Live, and I really wish they would add a report function, because I swear some of the players could use a good banner too, but I digress. So, what do I think to the deck? Unfortunately, no donks in this video, but obviously that... Well, I mean, you could count the Marty's Grims or the Impidimp as a donk, I guess, but... ultimately, it's not a donk, but you know what I mean. Ultimately, I think this variant has some legs, but personally, if I was to say, like, you know, like a poison donk strategy, I think ultimately, like, Okidogi, because Okidogi hits for fighting weakness, you know, I feel like it falls short. Like, playing a 3-prizer with a poison package doesn't really suit the deck. Obviously, you know, like, Pecharunt, Brute Bonnet, they're single prizes. You know, the 2 prizes like Latias, Pecharunt, they're fine. But when you start throwing 3 prizes into the mix, it just feels like you're, you know, I get the reasoning, because obviously it's a cheap attacker, you know, you can do that sort of thing. But I think 3-prizer for a poison donk deck isn't really suitable. And with the amount of fighting decks running around to hard counter this sort of strategy, I think ultimately it falls short. And, you know, I'd rather not suggest playing this deck, and I don't think you should. But anyway, I'm going to leave you all to it for today. I really hope you enjoyed seeing the Poison Bunny package, and I'll see you next time.